Nigel Farage claimed that a young Margaret Thatcher would have backed his Eurosceptic party instead of today's Conservatives, in a speech he made in 2013 at Westminster. This morning, Brexit Party leader Nigel Farage said he will not stand as an MP in the upcoming election so he can focus on running the election campaign. Mr. Farage, who said he will field 600 Brexit Party candidates in seats across the UK, told BBC One's Andrew Marr that he believed his cause was better served by travelling around the country. He claimed he was determined to explain to people what Boris Johnson's Brexit deal will mean for the country, a Brexit in name only, as uncertainty looms with Britain heading for the 12th of December election. Or throwback speech by Mr. Farage has resurfaced. In 2013, the pioneering Brexiteer claimed Margaret Thatcher would have joined UKIP instead of the Conservatives if she had been faced with the choice then. During a talk at Westminster, Mr. Farage, who at the time was UKIP leader, described his party as the true inheritors of Lady Thatcher's policy on Europe. He said, "I can't believe that the young Margaret Thatcher leaving Oxford today would join the Conservative Party led by David Cameron. I think she would get involved in UKIP, and no doubt topple me within 12 months or so. Since then, much has changed though, and not only Mr. Farage has distanced itself from UKIP but Britain also historically voted to leave the EU in a historic referendum in 2016. The MEP founded the Brexit Party, which seeks to defend the democratic mandate of the referendum, undermined by Mr. Johnson's softening, and Jeremy Corbyn's flirtation with a second referendum. Lady Thatcher's Europe policy does closely align to Mr. Farage's, so it could be easily argued the Iron Lady would join the Brexit Party instead of Mr. Johnson's Conservatives if she was faced with the choice today. In her 2002 book Statecraft, Lady Thatcher fitly pinpointed many of the arguments made by current Eurosceptics and dubbed Britain's EU membership a political error of the first magnitude. She wrote that such an unnecessary and irrational project as building a European superstate was ever embarked on will seem in future years to be perhaps the greatest folly of the modern era, and that Britain, with her traditional strengths and global destiny, should have ever been part of it will appear a political error of the first magnitude. There is, though, still time to choose a different and better course. She also noted that the word Europe is always found in the mouths of those politicians who wanted from other powers something that they did not dare to demand in their own name. In a bold statement, she said, "The concept of Europe has always, I suspect, lent itself to a large measure of humbug. Not just national interests, but a great array of group and class interests happily disguise themselves beneath the mantle of synthetic European idealism. Thus we find an almost religious reverence for Europe accompanied by a high degree of distinctly materialistic chicanery and corruption.